video late. I was having reception issues earlier. So we're just gonna dive right into it, man. So today's call, um we're just gonna talk about simply flipping items that you're already familiar with. Flipping items that you're already familiar with. So it's gonna be a simple step-by-step guide to fast profit. So okay, identify your circle of familiarity. Ask yourself, what type of items do you use every single day? For instance, if you most of us watch TV every day. Most of us have use phones every day. Some of us use video games every day. So when it comes to, starting this business, your whole thing is to jump out there, learn as much as you can. And if you're serious, you can either turn this into a side hustle or you want to build enough consistency to pay your bills with this. So one thing that helps is understanding that there's hidden treasure within the item that you already have. So all right, so what I mean by that is the items that you use the most, you're gonna have the most experience using those items. So you'll know a little more about what to look for when selling the item, and you might even just knowing how you obtain that particular item, you might know where to find that item when it comes to looking for it online, looking for potential sellers. So, for instance, if you're a video game seller, you're going to know a little more about a little more than me about different things like um, what can I say? Like you might for one instantly you might obviously know more people that play video games, but number two, you might know little things that would add or subtract value from a video game. And just you being in that game world, you might be a little more passionate about flipping video games if you use them a lot. It's like, just like, for instance, something that you use every day, you can be making money from it. So if you're somebody that play video games every day and you have access to any of this course material, understanding that something that you use every day can be making you money in one shape, form, or another. Whether you just and then just obviously you'll have more comfort using that item. So for instance, with me, I don't really use a lot of video games. I have more comfort using a phone, or I don't know anything about a gaming computer. I got one that's been sitting in my warehouse for a couple months, about a year actually. I don't know what to do with it. I don't know the purpose of it. I don't know why they're so expensive. I don't know what makes them obsolete. But someone that has experience with those particular items will have more insight as far as like just knowing more about the item, knowing different things like how much the remotes cost, how much the keyboards cost, just whatever. So I always just understand what items you use every day, what tools or tech are incumbent on your job, your side hustle, or hobbies. So for instance, one of my students, she was in particular, she was just looking to use this as a side hustle. She ended up, so she signed up, looking to flip phones. Right now, she currently flips like blow dryers, curling irons, things of that nature. Like, so what she'll do is she'll find items on Facebook Marketplace, or she'll find like a salon that's moving, upgrading equipment, going out of business, and she'll basically just liquidate, or she'll just basically find different items on Facebook Market. For the most part, Facebook Marketplace is how she find her leads, and that's pretty much who she goes after. That's pretty much who she goes after. When it comes down to yeah, that's pretty much who she goes after when it comes down to the items she flips. So what she does is she goes on Facebook Marketplace and she looks for different salon equipment that she can, buy for a low price and sell for a higher price. Yeah. What brands, models, or categories do you already know the ins and out of? What brands are you familiar with? Example, a barber might know clippers, trimmers, ring lights. So say for instance you're a barber, you're looking for different items to flip. You might look for different items within the hair space. Like it could be some like they say clippers. I'm not sure if people buy used clippers, but I know if I was looking to be a barber and I was on a limited budget, I wouldn't be too opposed to purchasing something used. But at the same time, there are hygiene issues and things of that nature. So what brands, models, or categories do you know the ins and out of? A barber might know clippers, trimmers, ring lights. A gamer might know consoles, controllers, GPUs. An office worker may know printers, monitors, keyboards. So, for instance, if you, I mean, just whatever you have an eye for, whatever, because the more odd that you get when it comes to reselling, the more room there is for you to dominate in your region, and the easier it will be to grow. So, for instance, everybody has a cell phone. So, if you're someone that's only looking for iPhones, cell phones, then that might, I mean, I'm not sure. That might, like, it could be saturated depending on how many people do it. But there's not that many people looking for used barber equipment, used salon chairs, printers, monitors, like specifically those items. There's not many people doing that. There's not that many people doing that. Hey, how's it going? Okay. All right. So what I want you to do is I want you to go to the basement floor. I'm about to wrap the Zoom up. So I want you to go down to the basement floor. So that's like floor number one. And just park. I'll be down there in a second. Okay. All right, so yeah, a content creator might know cameras, mics, and lighting. So if you're somebody in the content space, instead of like looking specifically for phones, you might go out your way to say, okay, I'm gonna flip cameras instead. And the odder and the more unique the items are, the more room there is to grow. And when I say these are still items that people use every day, but it's not like, so everybody doesn't use a printer or a camera every day, or even a computer for that month, for that matter. Like I said, I don't use computers every day. So but there are people that do. So the more odd an item is, I feel like it also creates more room for profit because it's less supply, a stronger demand. So say for instance, there's not as many used cameras floating around as there are used phones. So it's a lower supply, higher demand. Lower supply, higher demand. Lower supply, higher demand. Yeah, I'm sorry. I apologize for that. So all right. So make a flippable list. Create a list of 5 to 10 items. Create a list of 5 to 10 item types you already understand, such as smartphones, Galaxy, Pixel, iPhones, laptops, MacBook, ThinkPads, Chromebook, tools, DeWalt, Milwaukee, Ryobi, cameras, Canon, Sony, GoPro, gaming, PS5, Xbox, Switch, accessories. So that's another one. If you're a blue collar person selling tools and equipment, would definitely be I mean, like more something that you're more familiar with. You're going to be more familiar with those type of items than myself. So pro tip, start with brand models that you personally use. You instantly spot a good or bad deal. Step three, study current market value. So use tools like eBay sold listings, fake it, Facebook Marketplace, and OfferUp and Craigslist. So out of all these tips, I would use eBay sold listings. So say you're trying to flip tools or a salon chair. What I would do is type in that specific item on eBay. I will go to the filters and type in I will go to the sold listings, and I would go to the sold listings and I would look for items in that specific condition, and I would try to determine what how much the average sale price for that particular item, and I would use that to determine my buy price. So, say for instance, someone's selling salon chairs on average for 200 a piece on eBay, plus shipping or whatever. Well, that would be more of a bulkier items. All right, so let's say a printer. Say the average sale price for a printer would be 200. The highest I might be willing to pay for it might be around 120, 130, just because fees and things of that nature. So I would probably start off at maybe $80 for. I mean, when it comes to a lower demand, a lower supply, higher demand, I feel like you can actually start negotiation a little lower. All right, so step four, source low quickly. Now that you know what to buy and how much it sells for, check local apps like Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, check pawn shops, thrift stores, flea markets. That's what a lot of people aren't doing. A lot of pawn shops have issues liquidating specific tool, like a lot of items like tools, just a lot of different equipment and whatnot. So a lot of pawn shops or people, or thrift stores are great lead sources when it comes down to always consistently being able to find inventory. I have different friends out here in Atlanta that consistently call me with different items that they just want to liquidate, in bulk. So, and they pretty much come in handy every time I, need to make a little money. So post I buy XYZ items for cash and local places like Craigslist, local groups like Facebook groups, things of that nature. Speed tip: you'll filter deals faster since you already know what these items are worth and how they work. Step 5: test and list like a pro. Because you're familiar with an item, you'll know exactly how to test it. You'll know exactly what pictures to take and how to write better descriptions, and you'll know exactly how to troubleshoot and reset common problems. For example, Canon EOS Rebel T7 fully functional. Clean lens, includes charger and a strap. Lightly used, ships fast. Rinse and scale. So once you've flipped a few items, reinvest profits, expand it into closely related items. And if you flip phones, try tablets, smartwatches next. So diversify. Build bundles, example, cameras, lens, bag, so build bundles when it comes down to standing out on these different unique apps and marketplaces like Facebook Marketplace, eBay, and Mercari, things of the nature. Bonus tip: these flips help build your confidence and cash flow while minimizing beginner mistakes. Key reminder for your call: keep flipping familiar items. You push you into expert mode out the gate. You already know what makes the item valuable, and that makes your learning curve shorter and the profit window is wider. Okay, all right, cool. All right, so guys, that concludes my video to get today. If you're not flipping, you're tripping, and thanks for joining. Hope you guys have a nice day. Now we're going to get to the Q&A part of the